Welcome, everybody. I'm Steve Taylor with Alternative Payments. I'm joined by Brendan Bastine from Gozynta Consulting. Brendan, welcome, sir.
Thank you.
So, we've got some cool stuff on the way for you guys today. We are going to talk about some ways to customize your HaloPSA. And we're even going to talk about some ways that you can fully automate your accounts receivable. And I'm excited. I like what we do. I like what Brendan does. I'm sure he feels the same way. Um, yeah, man. What are you thinking?
No, absolutely. I've been with, I'm the president of consulting here at Gozynta. Uh, 13 years of leadership experience, 17 of service delivery, 7.5 in sales. So we just recently became an accredited onboarding partner with HaloPSA. So I'm pretty excited to show the power of what we can do together.
Oh man, that's good. Well, hey, we've still got people filing in. So do we want to ask any questions? I'd love to know, where's everybody from? You want to toss some stuff in the chat, guys? Let us know, where are you joining us from? City, state, country, whatever you want to divulge. Last four of your social, mother's maiden. I'll take whatever you guys got. And then we're one of the things we're talking about today is we're going to learn. We're going to talk about some of the challenges that you might be facing with how you've got things set up today. Ooh, Indiana, Chicago. We got Midwest representing. Brendan, where are you at?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Toronto. There we go. I am in Ohio. I'm in the Cleveland, Akron area of Ohio. London, Florida. Man, we are global today, Brendan. Global.
All is good.
Global's good. All right. Well, hey, let's dive in, man. You ready?
I'm ready.
You pumped? Let's do this. All right. Your slide deck is live.
Excellent. So, like I said, I've been with Gozynta Consulting as president of consulting for the last 2 years. Plenty of experience up here. I won't bore you with the details, but let's get right into it. So, we really are trying to solve a couple of problems here. Quote to cash. How do we get the quote out quickly? And how do we get paid quickly? So, the problems that I often see that providing professional quotes is time consuming. Using a third party tool is costly. And oftentimes when I see it in Halo, it'll remove the automation that's automatically built in, removing efficiency. Getting paid quickly after the quote approvals can prove difficult if you don't have the right systems in place. And after the quote is won, what does the handoff process look like? Is it broken? Do we know where the ticket's going? Do we need a project? Does it even belong in a project? So I want to address the elephant in the room first. There are a lot of myths out here about HaloPSA that I often hear. The clients need to have a login to view and accept quotes. That's absolutely false. We can configure Halo to allow clients to approve quotes without logging into your client portal. Prospective clients are going to clog up my existing client base. That's also false. We can configure Halo to separate prospects into accounts, but also streamline that so that we can start marketing to those prospects with drip campaigns that really nurture the client relationship. The next myth I get is I can't get real-time pricing for quotes. And that's also false. We can get real-time pricing from some vendors. Now, does that mean that we're not going to need to do anything else? No. Once we get the quote and the real-time pricing in there, we still have an obligation to the vendor to actually log in and log a proposal so that you secure that pricing. Coding in HaloPSA doesn't have to be hard or complicated. First, we're going to start by defining our process. What does it look like when we're nurturing a lead? And this is just an example of how we can start defining our process with the qualified stage, then raising the quote. But the one that we're going to focus on most today is our prepare quote action. Once we prepare a quote, we're going to set up ticket rules to quickly add executive summaries, references, customer testimonials, or even front pages, back pages. We're going to apply a scope of work template. Imagine what that looks like when you apply a scope of work to a template. And it auto-populates. Make a change to the scope, update the quote, and have that quote template also updated. We use custom fields to absolutely prepare the desired pages. So oftentimes I'll go into a client's instance or help setting it up, and we have 10 quote templates. But what if we had one that was dynamic in nature that could populate all of this for you really quick? So when we prepare a quote, we use ticket rules to make this dynamic. So when I change my apply proposal defaults, you're going to see that the service description, signature, and references also change. And it's in real time. Once I raise the quote, I use item bundles to quickly add products and services. So for us, my consulting services, for MSPs out there, if you have a bronze, silver, gold plan that has different services, why not create an item bundle? Quickly add it so that you can absolutely give them options to accept certain groups. Provide the options at either the bundle level or the item level. And then we're going to pull those into the PDF templates. And it can be used, should be created that you can use it for most of your quotes. Once we connect our distributors, we can use the EOIs option to see real-time pricing so that you can adjust to your desired margins. So for us, how does that work? I'm going to set up the item bundle, and under the settings, there's an option that one of these items must be picked. And I set up either, for me, growth program, strategy consulting, or regular consulting. And now my client can see the price and what I'm offering. When you add these as optional items, you can set that at the item level or at the grouping level. And what's shown on the right side of your screen here is actually at the group level that I'm setting that. So once I raise the quote, I simply select my item bundles. I'll save through the quantities, and then I'll go back in and adjust, add optional items. Clearly, I can set the discount, the recurring rate, whether it's pending, accepted, and then which one I want them to choose by selecting either quantity 1 or 0. When I get into the dynamic preview, the custom fields populate these templates. Ticket rules are used to populate the custom fields. And then the custom fields are added to the PDF template. You can use $ page break to actually add another page. So you only have one template that's adding all the custom fields. So we quickly preview the quote. There's changes depending on the proposal summary. I can add my actual signature in there, and my terms and conditions are all updated in real time. So I have a couple of different templates that I like to use myself. The one that you're seeing right now is the template options. So you're going to notice that my quantity is 0 on the optional items. Once they get into the self-service portal, which they'll be able to accept their quote and then pop out to alternative payments to make that payment. My other option is adding variables in so that it's either selecting the recurring costs. I can separate it by monthly recurring, annual recurring, and one-time onboarding fees. So there's a lot of options in here to really dynamically include this template while giving options and how you want this to be seen for all of your clients. So once we select the template, it's going to update all of this information for us. And there's a couple of tricks to previewing this quote and approval. You want to make sure that your quote email template is branded with your desired template that's actually in the settings. There should be a preview link in the quote email template that comes out of the box. Copy it right into the normal setting. Verify the look and feel before you send it. That way you can see how the client sees that quote on your self-service portal. So to quickly preview it, click send. It's going to pop up with the email box. In that email box is going to have a link to that quote. If you right click on that, and then pop out, open in a new window, it'll bring you to your end user portal, at which point you can take a look at the quote from page. And this is exactly how your clients are going to see these pages. At this point, they can accept and choose the quote, apply their name, adjust the quantity, unselect what they don't want. And then at the bottom, they can sign their name.
I gotta say, this looks really sharp.
So you enter I appreciate that. You enter the customer signature. We can actually set a default length on that. And it ends up back into your HaloPSA quote with a green thumbs up for anything that was approved, a red thumbs down for anything that wasn't approved. And at that point, we can set automations for the approved line items to send to a sales order. It's not going to link to an invoice. I'm sorry. If we create an action for alternative payments using their quick pay feature, I can create an action with that quick pay feature, a custom field to enter the dollar amount, and then send them the payment automatically. It's not going to link to an invoice, but it's great for a down payment for future use. You can generate the invoice and send it to the client right off the sales order. We can create that sales order to generate automatically. And that'll update the status of the opportunity to payment received. Once we create the purchase order after payment receipt, which actually is where Steve is going to take over on how we can get paid quickly once this is won. Once that's all set, we can create the project based off of the templated labor item. Use that with caution because it's hard to scam a little bit, but you're selling the same thing over and over again with the same scope of work and the same steps. Absolutely save yourself some time. Apply the template to the labor item so that it'll create quickly for you. So a couple of housekeeping things that I just want to touch on. Sales orders are the hub after the quotes have been accepted. You can quickly create the invoice for the client hardware or collect the down payment, then create a project from the sales order. It's not recommended to do that from the actual opportunity ticket. So once it's won, the sales order is really where we're going to generate the invoice to send to alternative payments. So we can invoice for desired line items. We can create a one-time invoice using Alternative's quick pay feature. We can create a project from the template based off of the labor SKU on the quote. And that's actually on the item under the settings. Once we create the purchase order and attach all records to the single ticket, managing and receiving that purchase order is key as long as it's from a single pane of glass. We can alert the teams when products are received. So we can create purchase orders, create the demand that allow you to receive the products, assign the inventory asset to the client, and adjust inventory in HaloPSA and whatever your financial package is at that point. So from the sales order, Steve, once I create the invoice, what next?
Yeah. What next?
What next?
Does that mean it's my turn?
It,
All right. Well, hey, before I just dive right into stuff, I've got a question I want to ask everybody. Are you guys having any of these problems today? I popped up a poll. It's not a trick question. Just let us know which of these problems you are experiencing today. And it's whether or not you use HaloPSA or any competing solutions with anything we've got going on today. Okay. So we're just curious. While you guys answer that, Brendan, you're gonna love this. Quotes take too long to create is definitely winning. So I think you have a lot of fans here. Um,
it
we're,
doesn't that way.
yeah, Halo PSA is a really customizable tool. And Brendan will definitely be able to help you guys customize that. But whether or not you customize Halo PSA, one of the problems you're still going to run into is the entire, I'm going to call it collections process. Now, collections feels like a dirty word to me, maybe because it feels like you're sending somebody to collections. But I really mean accounts receivable. So accounts in good standing, collecting the money. All right. So with that said, alternative payments, we have a solution. And what I mean by that is, let me back up. Let me back up. For those of you that don't know me, I ran my own MSP. I've been an IT professional since 2002. So that's over 20 years I've been in IT. I ran my own MSP for nearly 15 years. And then I started doing webinars for MSPs. So I started doing this kind of stuff because it was fun while I was still running my MSP. And alternative payments approached me, and I had a chance to take a look under the hood and see like how this platform is set up. And I believe in it. All right. It's a fantastic platform, and I'm just queuing it all up. Okay. And I joined this company because I really believe what alternative payments is doing is just making everything better for MSPs. So with that said, I am going to share my screen, and I want to go over some things with you guys here. So first and foremost, we want to help you guys get paid in days, not weeks. So one thing we've found is that just looking at like raw data inside our platform, most MSPs are getting paid on average in something like 36 days. And that's unfortunate because you want that money quicker. I'm sure of it because I wanted that money quicker. So what we've done is we've simplified things. You're probably wondering how. Well, Brendan earlier mentioned the quick pay links. So that's one way we've tried to make things easier for you. And what that quick pay link does is it makes it so that way you can include a link that your client can click on to pay right now. They've approved the invoice. Here's a button. Click it, get your deposit. Now you're no longer footing the bill to start buying equipment for them, using your own money and giving them interest-free loans. Now you get paid right away and you can buy stuff with their money. Now, we have an integration with HaloPSA. So that way, even if it's not a quote, right? Maybe it's just the regular monthly invoice. The customer is going to log into their client portal, which I'm sure that I could have customized. Brendan, can I customize this client portal more to make it look more fun?
We can customize quite a bit on the client portal.
Yeah.
What's key here is that the invoices are showing up with that pay link.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You might not even realize it because it's just so tiny, right? But right here is a pay link. And what happens, your client is going to click that and they're going to be redirected to alternative payments. Easy peasy. And they can either sign in and pay, or they can even continue as a guest. But check this out. They can even click this little download button here. They can download the HaloPSA invoice. Again, mine is hideous. Brendan, how much can we customize this?
we need to talk. Let's customize.
We need to talk, he says. We need to talk, he says.
Well,
Now,
we can put our entire logo in here. We can put payment links right into alternative payments. Not really a big fan of putting my tax number on the invoice, but this whole thing is customized.
yeah. You honestly, you can make these invoices look incredible. For dramatic purposes, left it as the default. This is what you get out of the box with Halo. I'm sure, Brendan, you might be able to show us what an invoice looks like. I don't know if you have something like that teed up. We can look at that later. But I want to show you a few other things. This is what the customer sees. Okay, so if they were to sign in to their portal, they're able to see, like, here's a list of all the invoices that they have due. We've got a simple menu over here on the side where they're able to set up all of their payment methods. In fact, let's go to payment methods. Here you see we've already added one, the good old Visa ending in 1111. That's not real. And then we can have them add banking information for ACH. Adding payment details is real simple, and setting up autopay. Your customer can even set up autopay. So this is, I call it the equivalent of what you have today with your electric company. You've already got a payment portal where you can sign in and pay your utilities. Let's bring your MSP into the new age and make it so your clients can pay you easily. Now, on the MSP side of things, you can see, again, demo data that shows you a bunch of invoices that are probably overdue and due soon and already paid and things like that. You can set up email notifications. So the thing I love about our platform is we do it all for you. So we can send the notification to the customer. We can send reminders. We can do auto pay. When the customer pays the invoice, we mark that invoice as paid, both in your PSA and in your accounting software, whether it's QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Desktop, Xero, the list goes on. And then from there, we'll even create the deposit. It's a checkbox in the QuickBooks Online settings, so you want to make sure you do that. But we'll create the deposit. So if your customer pays with a credit card and you decide to absorb those fees, we will even put the fees on the deposit. That way, literally everything matches up. So the deposit's going to link to all the payments. The bank feed that you download will link to the deposit. Your bookkeeper is happy. You as the CEO, if you're doing it all yourself, you've got more time to worry about helping your clients, and you're wasting less time on bookkeeping and back office nonsense. So that really is alternative payments. And I've got a bunch of other screens that I'm just going to kind of slide through so that way you can see, like, we have a ton of stuff that you can do in this platform. With that said, Brendan, what do you think, man? This is cool, right?
This is a fantastic way to manage this. The way it pulls and connects with HaloPSA, as the MSP, you want your clients to have one face, right? You have your website, then you have your client portal. That client portal should be an extension of that website. The ability to pull your invoices and manage the payments from the portal, it's huge, right?
Yeah.
Now your clients don't have to have a separate login. They don't have to have, they have it all right there. So
Yeah.
alternative payments help streamline the AR.
Mm-hmm. And Gozynta Consulting helps make your invoices not hideous like mine.
Well, if you want to go back to my screen, I can show you what it actually. So the
Mhm.
invoice template itself, and yes, I just threw that together real quick.
Sure.
Can pull in the data, websites, logo. We can customize it with your organization colors. Pull that right into the invoice template. These columns are customizable too. If you don't want the total tax per line, you want to pull that out. You want to add further descriptions underneath what the consulting or what your services offer. Mine just happens to be uh, coaching and consulting. But there's a lot of flexibility, and what makes that flexible is that it's all built in CSS and HTML.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did pop up a poll question because I'm curious. Is if you're interested in a conversation, it's there's no pressure. We just want to show everybody our platform. If you want to see how this platform, alternative payments, could work for your MSP, uh, just say sure, a conversation couldn't hurt, and one of our folks will reach out to you and get something scheduled. And if you're not interested, it's okay. We understand. Um, I know we also have an AMA later on here, so we'll get to that soon because I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions regarding probably regarding how to make your invoices look less like mine and more like Brendan's, or how to set up some of these cool workflows. Because one of the things that I've noticed, Brendan, HaloPSA, it's let's be honest, it's kind of a bear. It's cool. It's really customizable. But when you start getting to into the nitty gritty of like, all right, how do I start automating all the things? Uh, it can become a little overwhelming. I know when I looked through it over the last couple weeks as I was putting all this together, it it was it was overwhelming, man. So, do you have any, I don't know, tips to help people not be so, I don't know, afraid to start customizing?
First, I do, and a couple of them. When you first have started with Halo PSA, it's so easy to think of, oh my God, I could do X, Y, and Z. But should we do that now? We need
Mhm.
a foundation. And once that foundation is laid and is solid, now we can start talking about what is the process? What should the process be now that the limitations of what I'm used to are removed? Now we can start putting in the automations, the ticket rolls, the templates that update themselves. But without a process first, including how do we get paid? When do we invoice? When do we collect payment? Do we purchase it after we receive the down payment? And how do we automate that? Right?
Mhm.
So start simple, align your process. If it doesn't match what you want it to do today, put some thought into it. What would we ideally like? And once we have that process, now we can put it in. Once we know what that full PDF template looks like, that invoice template, and that may be something that you've always used, right? Maybe the change to the PSA is time to change it up. Sometimes shaking up the status quo is necessary for growth.
Yeah, for sure. And and I just want to clarify, like, I keep saying Halo PSA is super customizable, super customizable. Um, you mentioned earlier that there is uh, like this process, like a handoff process, because as your MSP grows, you're going to start having different like departments, or at least different people that are in charge of things. Everything from sales and quoting to procurement to accounting, bookkeeping. Um, you might have a project team versus like the service delivery team, right? So as your MSP continues to scale, grow, HaloPSA, from what I've seen, it even has like this flow view to it, where you can literally use like what's like a flow chart within HaloPSA to kind of build out visually. Here's how I want my process to look, and you can use that to literally start customizing the way that their platform automates and operates.
Just because we can doesn't mean we should.
Okay.
Yes, we can create that workflow. That workflow limits statuses and actions at any given stage.
Mhm.
So if our process is to invoice and then collect payment, and that's a stage prior to moving it into procurement and moving it into a completely different team, right?
Mhm.
But you have to have your baseline. Start simple. We can add automations. We can add runbooks. We can add look all after go live, all after we have our core process set. But automation's a multiplier, not a replacement.
Okay. Next, you're going to tell me AI is just telling me what it thinks I want to hear.
Sometimes.
Sorry, I just watched last week's South Park episode last night, so that's fresh. Well, very cool. What do you have next, Brendan?
So first, we just threw up a poll, wondering who here is a current HaloPSA user today,
Yeah.
and who's looking into it.
Yeah. That is a good question. We have quite a few people who are already HaloPSA users. So that's really cool. We've even got somebody that's looking into Halo. So hopefully for HaloPSA's sake, you like what you saw today. Neither of us are like employed by or technically affiliated with HaloPSA. We have a platform that integrates with it. Brendan is a consultant for HaloPSA. Oh, a really good one. In fact, don't you have some cool consulting status with them?
Yeah, we are the first accredited HaloPSA onboarding partner and consultant, and we just achieved that a couple of weeks ago.
That's pretty impressive, man.
So it's I'm proud of my team for their achievement on that. It's huge.
You should be. You should be. That's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Moving on. You want me to put your screen back up, sir?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Here we go.
So we're gonna throw up one more poll.
Okay.
If you'd like to learn a little bit more about how Gozynta Consulting can help you streamline your sales process, handoff process, or integrate alternative payments right into your payment portal, the poll just went up. If you're interested in our services, want to chat, see how we can help you, whether you're already a client or whether you're good with what you've seen. But I'd love to help if I can.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, do you guys, I know you probably don't want to talk pricing. I get it. But do you guys have like packages for consulting? Like if somebody's like, all right, we've been using Halo for a while, but we have no idea where to begin. Do you have like a let's just go through and do a basic configuration of everything and make sure you've got a baseline of everything?
Yeah, so I have a couple of different packages. First is our growth program. Our growth program is all of our services, tools administration that allows us to actually execute in your system, weekly meetings and strategic meetings, both quarterly and annually. We then have our HaloPSA Consulting platform, which is one meeting a week. We work together. Our goal is to teach you how to manage the system yourself.
Mhm.
While we're doing that, we do dig into processes. What's working, what's not, and what can we streamline? We then have 4 different packages for tools admin. And that doesn't include weekly meetings. That's simply you telling us what you need done and us executing it. So if you're busy, like I know you all are, you want to serve your clients, I want to serve mine. It's great to be able to just log in, make the changes, teach the team. So different packages for different budgets, depending on what you're looking for. I would prefer the consulting option here, or the growth program, to allow us to execute and teach. But it's all about process. And when we start diving in to an onboarding, or whether we're correcting an existing setup, we always start with the process that you want it to be.
Mhm. Very cool. Very cool. Well, sir, we've we've uh we've done all our polls. We've we've taught all the things. I think there's just one thing left. Yeah, there it is. All right, guys. So look, we've got whether you want to use the chat or the Q&A section, we're flexible. So here's your opportunity. If you have questions, whether it's about um, HaloPSA configurations or accounts receivable configurations, maybe you just want to talk to some people instead of the voices. We're here for you, okay? Yes, Tim, this is recorded. It will be accessible later. In fact, I should have it up. I say should because, there's always that chance, right? But I'll have it up on YouTube tomorrow. And I will send to everybody a follow-up email tomorrow, whether you attended or not. Everyone who registered gets an email from us. Thanks for registering. Here's what we discussed. Here's the recording. So that's in that email. And then yeah, so you'll all get that tomorrow. What else you guys got? We're ready. I could make up some questions. Hey, so here's one thing I'm curious about. I remember, gosh, how long has it been? Has it been like 3 years now since that one big massive company acquired Autotask?
Well, I'm not quite sure of the timeline on that.
It
Isaiah.
yeah. Um so I don't remember either because it's one of those it's been so long and I just don't remember. So with that said, it's been a while, but I remember when all of that went down, there were a lot of people that panic switched over to Halo. And I remember there was also a period of time where HaloPSA was unable to support companies smaller than a certain size just because they didn't have the support bandwidth themselves to be able to onboard a bunch of like smaller MSPs. Have they opened that up now?
So HaloPSA partners with certified consultants to complete their onboardings and to service their clients under 5 users.
Okay.
So they have distribution partners that can help take care of MSPs of all size, whether you're a sole proprietor, up to about 7 licenses. And then HaloPSA is able to take anything above 5.
Got it.
So they outsource their onboarding to their partners, and partners are global.
Hmm.
So depending on where you are in the world, I know that we have some people in London. Um, their headquarters is up in Stowmarket. We have headquarters over here in the United States as well, Florida and Washington, if I recall correctly. So we have pretty much most of the time zones covered.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool. I love that Halo. I don't know. I kind of like that it's different. It gives it like a more personable feel, if you will.
When
Um,
you have an expert in the industry helping you to build in sustainable processes, integrations that make sense, like alternative payments, getting paid quickly, the client portal. It's not just the how to do it, it's the why behind it.
mhm.
Why would I want alternatives in my client portal? Why would I want to be able to send out a quick link quote? And it's very simple. We all want to get paid.
Yeah. Let's see. Here's one. Based on this video, I saw the signature option. I currently use Zomentum. Would you consider the options in Halo a direct replacement for what Zomentum or Quozal can do as far as quotes and signatures?
The short answer to that is yes. The long answer to that is I would need to know exactly what you're using out of Quozal or Momentum to be able to let you know. Yes, we can grab signatures from our clients in multitude of ways. Contracts, quotes. Even if I go on site, do on site work, I can actually have the client sign off on the on site work. Um, so yes, I can pull in the signature. It'll absolutely apply on whatever PDF document I want it. But depending on what features you're using is really going to depend um, on how I answer that question.
That makes sense. And I think that's fair because I know a lot of these, like, if you look at ConnectWise CPQ, that's what Quozal got rebranded, if I recall correctly. Um, they are like heavily integrated right into the ConnectWise PSA platform. I'm sure that they would still probably sell you a standalone version of it if you were not a ConnectWise user, right? But so when I think about what CPQ does, or if I think about what QuoteWorks, Zomentum do, the heart of it is probably we want to be able to build out quotes, whether it's for new hardware, software, or for managed services or projects, right? We want to be able to potentially do bundles or uh, give clients like good, better, best options. Give clients the ability to change quantities because reasons. When they're viewing the quote, you look like you're about to say something.
Yeah. I was just thinking we do want to do all of those, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like integration is key.
Mm-hmm.
Making your quoting process quick is also key. You don't want to spend 3 days on a quote,
No.
right? You want to be able to understand your client needs, build out the scope of work, templatize.
Yeah.
You can do all of that in Halo. But when we pull quotes from Halo and remove the third party, and there are valid reasons for going outside of Halo, right? But I'm a firm believer in use the software you have before you go spend money on the software you want. If Halo's not going to add video into your proposals, like I know some other quoting softwares do, then going into Halo for that video upload may be a valid reason that you don't go into Halo. But as you add integrations, we need to make sure that that workflow is still streamlined so that you're not removing automation out of the workflow. And the automation I'm specifically referring to is once it's won or once it's sent, do you have to go back into Halo and click send or put it on the right status? Or are we able to do that with an action on a quote? Is it
Very valid.
template and the signature right into Halo for you? Some of the integrations and quoting does, absolutely. But to have it in Halo and upload it as a document onto the self-service portal as well, now you've got the quote, the agreement, and payments all in one file.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like you said earlier, Halo checks off most of the boxes. It's even got integration in things like Utilize. So you're able to get the real-time pricing and all that good stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of great reasons to at least consider using the tools that are in the PSA before you start spending extra money on quoting integrations and all these other integrations. He's absolutely right.
Now, Halo has a great baseline, right, for quoting, but it's not the end point, it's the starting point. Does that baseline work for your business? And what do we need to change to make it work? Do we need that quick quote option? Do we need that pop out and alternative payments? And can we do that with a third-party integration? Or is it best in Halo?
Perfect. Well, I believe we have answered all of their questions. Brandon, thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate being invited.
Absolutely, man. I'm gonna pop up your slide deck one more time because I think you've got a contact slide just in case people want to reach out to you. There's a QR code waiting right there in the wings.
Sure. So you can learn more about Gozynta Consulting at gozynta.com/consulting. Our HaloPSA services can be found at gozynta.com/HaloPSA. If you want to talk, please feel free to email us at sales@gozynta.com. In our Gozynta growth community, we have templates and guides that are designed and ready to use. So you can access our community at community.gozynta.com. We are adding new templates each week. We do prioritize requests. So if you have something that you want to see and it's not up there, by all means, let me know. We can get that working for you and out as quickly as possible.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that. And then I also want to say we are going to, at the end of this webinar, when it wraps up, there's a quick 2-question survey. If you are so kind to let us know what you thought of today's webinar, what you learned, we'll enter you into a chance to win a $250 Amazon gift card just for completing that survey. So thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. And now I have to find my buttons. They're all missing. There it is. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for being here today. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye.